Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully the sound quality is better. Today we're going to dissect the highly controversial Cass review on gender identity services for under 18s. As we unpack this, remember it's always crucial to question who's behind the report and what their intentions may be. Let's press pause and delve a little deeper into the background of the Cass review. NHS England identifies the stark rise in the number of young patients questioning their gender. To investigate this trend, they commissioned a review in 2020. Just think about it. A significant increase in young individuals bravely stepping forward to seek professional help and guidance on issues relating to their gender identity. At its heart, the intention seems commendable, to make sure that these children and teens, some of the most vulnerable amongst us, receive the care that they need, especially as the existing system which sends everybody to a single clinic in London wasn't really working. Yet there is an unsettling dimension to this story. The team leading the investigation was spearheaded by Hilary Cass. Now, if you've never heard of Cass before, it's essential to note that while she is indeed a pediatric specialist, her field of expertise does not overlap with gender medicine. So why is this problematic? Well, understanding a child's general health and development is one thing, but focusing on the nuanced, complex world of gender health is an entirely different ballpark. Renowned for her work as a medical professional, Hilary Cass made notable strides in general paediatric. Her background, however, does not offer a strong foothold in the area of gender health. This field requires not only a dedicated study, but also profound understanding of the lived experience of transgender and non-binary individuals. And casting a figure like Cass, however accomplished in her own field, into the leading role of such an investigation is nothing short of suspicious. Now the question arises, why have such a vital investigation led by somebody without the necessary understanding or experience? The scale of the task requires insightful, compassionate individuals who understand the trans experience, science behind gender identity, the social dynamics at play, and the mental and physical health intricacies. That's a tall order, but a sincere search for the truth demands nothing less. The realm of gender health incorporates a broad spectrum of disciplines and experiences. Gender dysphoria, body dysmorphia, transgender health, social and psychological dynamics associated with gender identity. All of these are crucial elements that come into play when providing healthcare to trans kids. So why is Cass, with her limited exposure in this field, a key player in a review that will impact so many lives? The issue of the Cass report isn't simply that it could have been better. Instead, it poses the question, how can we truly understand the challenges and needs facing our young trans people when individuals guiding policy and practice lack the first-hand experience in critical aspects of health? And this lack of specific understanding can, and indeed has, led to harmful, misleading claims that undermine rather than uplift those it's designed to help. So while the Cass review might be advertised as a means of investigation and assisting, it fails tragically short in truly understanding the lived experiences and unique needs of trans individuals across the country. A journey to unpack the Cass review is far from over, so stay tuned as we continue to pull back the layers and dive into what it means for trans youth and their advocates across the UK. One point of contention that leaps out of the Cass review is its position on puberty blockers, which are medicines used to delay the physical changes of puberty in transgender youth. According to the report, these medicines aren't providing a contemplative period for children to ponder their identities, as is commonly believed. Instead, the report posits it pushes them towards gender transition. This argument might be riddled with more holes than Swiss cheese. Cass review seems to gloss over the fact that most children who receive puberty blockers have already been identified as transgender. Puberty blockers aren't a tool to push children towards a particular path, but rather a means to thwart the physical changes that might inevitably lead to anxiety and distress. Transphobes often say that puberty blockers and HRT lead to irreversible changes, but so does withholding them. It's crucial to understand that the process of questioning and affirming one's gender identity is not spontaneous, nor is it coercive. Interventions like puberty blockers aren't an impulsive decision, but a thoughtful, calculated medical measure that is taken only after an individual exhibits a persistent and consistent identity as a gender different from that assigned at the birth. Moreover, puberty blockers do buy time. Psychologically, they halt potential distressing and physical changes, providing relief to transgender children, subsequently granting them emotional space that they need to analyse their identity more profoundly. The dynamics of puberty blockers isn't, as the Cass report would have you believe, Instead, it's an intrinsic blend of science, psychology and an individual narrative, one that is unfortunately distorted through the lens of this report. Remember, it's not about pushing a certain narrative, but accompanying these children on a journey of self-exploration, providing them with the best care options and, most importantly, respecting their autonomy and identity. The Cass report has found itself a part of a sea of controversy, at least in part due to the seeming prejudicial approach to evidence selection. Critics have asserted that the report did not take into account a staggering 98% of the available scientific evidence, a proportion far too significant to go unnoticed or unquestioned. Digging a bit deeper into this, the evidence excluded reportedly challenged the conclusions drawn by the Cass review. In effect, these omissions aren't merely accidents or a product of innocent oversight. Instead, they are a deliberate manipulation of the data to suit a predetermined narrative. This is a powerful and concerning allegation. Scientific research is premised on the idea of impartiality and empiric verification. Disregarding such a vast amount of evidence reduces the credibility of the report's findings and, by extension, the validity of its conclusions. This method unbalances the scales of justice and science and opens the door to a myriad of potential biases. What does such a selective interpretation tell us about the current climate around trans rights and healthcare, particularly gender care for minors? It raises uncomfortable questions concerning how we frame, debate and decide on these complex issues. This controversial approach has sparked suspicion, doubt and decried the review as transphobic. Such actions leave those efforts targeted at promoting understanding and acceptance and equality in the dust, drag outdated stereotypes into the light and permeate a system of ignorance and prejudice against gender variant individuals. In conclusion, the Cass report's statistical game holds potential grave consequences. Manipulation of data not only erodes the report's credibility, but equally jeopardizes the integrity of the research process. Most seriously, such selective research potentially endangers the lives and well-being of many individuals questioning their gender identity, who need comprehensive and unbiased guidance. The recent release of the Cass review has sparked an intense debate conceived in the cauldron of prejudice and cherry-picked data. The report presents nothing less than a fastball of fear-mongering. Such reports, embellished with academic-sounding veneers, make their way into numerous conversations, influencing perspectives far and wide. But we're here today to break down the facade and dissect what lies beneath. Firstly, the Cass review boldly highlights the lack of adequate research regarding medical intervention in gender care for under 18s. At first glance, this statement might seem a sincere effort to improve health services, but on a deeper inspection, the report is saturated with ignorance, glossed over as concern. The primary flaw lies with the author's unfamiliarity with the nuances of gender medical care. When it comes to approaching a subject as sensitive and unique as gender identity, it is essential to use a broad understanding and empathetic lens, which this report lacks. It is the report's narrative that children aren't understanding their own minds credible, or simply a pilot on a crash course, low on fuel and missing a navigation system. Not just mental health providers and gender experts, but countless first-hand experiences echo the vast majority of children questioning their gender are indeed part of the transgender community. Reports like the Cass review subtly plant the seeds of doubt, fueling further stigmatisation around topics that require increased understanding. We see bold claims steeped in stereotypes and information carelessly yanked from vital context, leading to glaring misunderstandings about social realities. But we can't let misguided, biased narratives shape our views. The onus is on us as discerning members of society to scrutinise such reports. We need to tread gently but firmly, advocating for more research, inclusion and comprehensive understanding to truly unravel the complexities surrounding gender identity. We're here to talk, to engage and to educate. Let's continue this conversation, promoting a more diverse and accepting society where everybody feels seen, respected and valued. And that wraps up our chat for today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed our deep dive as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. If you found this video illuminating or just plain entertaining, do me a favour and smash that like button. Even better, share it with your circle and let's spark some enlightening discussion about today's topic. But don't just vanish after hitting that share button. Stick around, I want to hear your thoughts too. Slide into our comment section and let us continue our conversation. Your insights and experience make our community richer. So until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and as always, keep making the world a little better for everybody. See you on the flip side.